Hi, it's Rob from the Bob Sphere. And first of all, I apologize. Let me arrange the camera a bit. There. I apologize if the whole picture looks a bit fuzzy. At least that's how I see it. The light's a bit funny today. Okay? Now, I've been reading for the booker, Diane Cook's The New Wilderness, and I am really enjoying it. It's very, very good. And so you know what the next review will be like. It's going to be a glowing one. So far, I'm 60 pages in. It could all change, as has happened in the past. Anyway, it's about the cruelty of the wilderness. So I decided to check my bookshelves to see if I have anything, that's in the same theme. I do. So let's start. First of all, one of the best books I read last year, Water Shall Refuse Them. Amazing. By Lucy Mcknight Hardy. Okay, it's about a girl who's a bit quirky, and her family, in a heat wave, move to the countryside. And lots of weird things start happening. That's all I'm going to say. If you're a fan of The Wasp Factory, you'll definitely like this book. It's a bit tamer, but still, you'll be on edge while reading it. Sarah Moss, The Ghost Wall, another great one. It's a very short one too. You'll read it in one sitting. Okay, it's about a family who try to recreate ancient times. So they all move to a forest, and it all goes wrong in the most spectacular way. Now, next one is not her best book, far from it. This is Surfacing. It's about a group of friends who move out in the Canadian wilderness. I don't need to repeat myself. You can guess what happens. But it's also an exploration of loneliness and psyche and relationships as well. Not her best. This one I've been talking about a lot. It's Pig Iron. So this is more about, it's about the north. But the character in this book, the main one, John, has a sort of country background and a rural savagery about him. And it's how he interacts with the people in a small town. So, people can carry an environment with them. Richard Brautigan, he's one of my favorite authors. This is great. This is Revenge of the Lawn stories. And let's say this. Some bits are about the country. It's an aura of weirdness. That's all I'll say. I'll go into that. Okay, now this is the granddaddy of all Sinister Country books. Waterland by Graham Swift. This, for me, is a classic. Really, definitely. So what's it about? Well, it takes place in a marshland. And I know I'm repeating myself, but things are not as they seem. Now, this plot repeats itself a lot in these types of books. But we've only got a few, so I won't be repeating myself a lot. Like that sentence. Anyway, the writing is phenomenal. And it's probably my favorite Graham Swift book, the ones I've read so far. Let's put it that way. This one comes highly recommended. Our Endless Numbered Days by Claire Fuller. This is a debut. It's a stunner. It's about a girl who's brought up in the woods by her father. And there's elements of survival. But then there's also meditations on what it would be like to actually not live in the country and all its evils and to live in a city. Questions that. This is good. If you're into cults and things like that, it's definitely one to read. This is more or less the same as Our Endless Numbered Days, and a bit like Pig Iron as well. Again, this takes place in a farming family in Suffolk, and it's about the misadventures and actions of a main character, which cause him to leave. And speaking of departing the country, this one's about this too. This is Ray Robinson, The Habits of Stags. It's another one I really, really like. Again, gorgeous writing. I love good writing. And I am lately, and I don't know if it's because of my age, I'm seeing a lot of bad writing in books. Not this one. It's about a man who's 70 years old and he's on the run. Why? I won't tell you. You have to figure that out. But I'll tell you, the country is not, or a forest, is not the best place to go hiding if you're on the run. Trust me. Bit of dystopia. We've got Station 11. A plague hits a country, a world, the world, a pandemic. Yep, it's about a pandemic. And, well, then the book takes place a few years later. And it's about a group of people wandering about in the woods. Again, the woods are not a safe place. In the vein of Waterland, Elmet, and our endless numbered days, we've got Midwinter. I don't mind this book. I'm not a big fan. By Fiona Melrose. It's good. It's good, and it's what you expect. Countryside, weird, evil, etc., etc. And the last one, an experimental novel, Reservoir 13 by John McGregor. This is not about, well, it's about a girl who is found dead or missing in a reservoir. And each chapter moves on a few years from the incident. And it's how nature progresses. It's like people change, but nature stays the same, and there are descriptions of the birds and the trees and the plants, the area around the reservoir. So is it about the evilness of nature? No, because the person died, but it's still a book worth reading because there's something eerie. Even though it's about the passing of time, there's something I can't put my finger on, and I notice it's strange in its own way. Okay, that's enough. Did you read any of these books? Would you like to read any of these books? Comment below and please subscribe. I'm over 100 now. That's really good. Thanks so much. Really, really, really. I really appreciate it when you subscribe. Because now I can start adding some extra things like my own URL. And when I do a live session, I can record it. Things like that. So more privileges come. Thanks a lot. See you next week.